It seems like everywhere you turn these days, there's somebody pushing a matcha beverage. But do you even know what matcha really is?
Matcha is essentially a stronger form of green tea. One of the first things you notice is its zippy green color and that it comes in powdered form. It's not steeped like a normal tea. To prepare matcha, you whisk the powder with hot water. So when drinking matcha, you're actually consuming the whole leaf. Like any form of tea, matcha originates with a healthy stock of Camellia sinensis, or the tea plant. Every April, new shoots sprout from the tips of these plants, and that's where the process for growing matcha starts to differ from regular green tea. As seen in AOI Tea Company's video, this is the point in time where the plants are shaded with tarps that only allow about 20% of the normal amount of sunlight in, and through that process they become more potent. The goal is to increase the levels of an amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine is directly responsible for not only the full-bodied flavor of matcha, but also the calming effect so many drinkers claim the tea possesses. This process is done on average for about 3 weeks' time. Only the youngest tea leaves are plucked from the plants. Within 20 to 24 hours of being plucked, it's Japanese custom to steam the leaves for 20 seconds. This stops the fermentation process from occurring and also preserves the leaves' rich color. Drying is the next step, and that occurs when the leaves are placed inside chambers that will be filled with flowing air that constantly circulates. Before the drying process is completed, the stems and veins are separated from the leaves. The part that's left is called tencha. Using a stone mill, the tencha leaves are ground into a fine powder, and the matcha is ready for brewing. Ippudo in Manhattan is the place to experience matcha in its truest form.
Traditionally, when you find matcha at a cafe, you find it in the thin preparation. However, here in front of me, I have two different styles, thick matcha, thin matcha. Generally, in a cup of matcha, you're gonna get a little bit less caffeine than a coffee. So essentially, I have had 3 coffees in the last 3 hours, so I'm really wired right now. Proceed with caution.
A place like Matcha Bar is serving all sorts of innovative matcha-based beverages with different flavors, not just whisked powder and water.
For me, I fell in love with matcha for its functional benefit. The caffeine in matcha is being released over a 3 to 4 hour period. So rather than all the 90 hitting you at once and then a crash, it's more of like a cruise control.
Flavor-wise, for somebody that's never tried matcha before.
Just like espresso, just like whiskey, just like a fine wine, it's really defined by this really nice bite of a green tea. A lot of it has to do with the texture. So very smooth, the kind of umami flavor. Japanese foods are always known for this umami creaminess.
So this here is a drink that involves matcha powder, cocoa, espresso, and almond milk. You can see the gradation of color from the brown here at the bottom up until the top of the drink, and certainly not traditional by any means at all, but hey, if it tastes good, that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more, click here.
Tea has to be somewhat enjoyable. It's very important that if your first sushi, your first tea, there's some means that makes it pleasurable so you want to come back the second time.